What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Andy Garcia. And actually, this is a concern. This is a question that I have for you guys, and it is about Andy Ruiz and the fight to come. We know this fight is about 3 weeks away, and we know the doubts at first of Andy Ruiz not wanting to go to Saudi Arabia. But let's look at some of the reasons that he didn't want to go, besides the threat of, his safety or whatnot, because his safety was that he had no protection over there. It was one of those things where, it was on, the level 2 security clearance, but another possible fear of for him not wanting to go over there is not fighting on U.S. soil. The first time he took an L was in Parker's backyard. Okay, he fought Parker in Parker's backyard. Parker won a split decision, and I think that's possibly a reason that Andy Ruiz didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. Knowing Saudi Arabia is nothing like the backyard of New Zealand, okay? But it could bring a mental block in for Andy Ruiz. It could bring in some extra stress that he needs. That's why I think that he's losing weight. That's why I think that they're doing things that they need for Andy Ruiz to be more mobile. Okay, and I think that there is some concern from the camp of Ruiz that there could be some foul play. Meaning, does Andy Ruiz, guys, does he need a knockout to win the second fight? Does he need a knockout? Can he do what he did in Madison Square Garden on a surprising whim of knocking down Anthony Joshua 4 times, getting the referee to stop it like the referee did? The ref thought that it was the best thing to do, and so he did it. Well, now the question is, do you think that Andy Ruiz can do that again? And if he can't do that, and he can beat Anthony Joshua round by round by round, do you think he will get a just decision in Saudi Arabia? Okay, so you might say, well, it's in Saudi Arabia, it's not in the UK, and it's not in the US of A, right? We could say that, but then the venue, the place, was picked by Team Joshua, ultimately, okay? Yes, they had to dig down to give more money to Andy Ruiz as a negotiation bid, which was smart. And if I was Ruiz, I would have asked for more money too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because it's like the amount of money you hear thrown around in Saudi Arabia because they were fighting in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I would want more money, but that has been done. Fine, it's settled. You get more money, but you're still fighting in Saudi Arabia. Do you guys think it's a mental thing? It's a mental decision or concern, rather, that goes through Andy Ruiz's mind. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things affect you mentally. A lot of people have mental blocks, mental hangups on certain things that happened in the past. Certain things could happen in the past, and even reminder of those things that happened in the past can give you, they'll give you a present day fear of concern, with anything that happened of disappointment, or something that you didn't like. And I think the first loss of Andy Ruiz affected him, and I think he was screwed over by Bob Arum. Let's be real. Bob Arum, when he lost that fight with Parker, even though it was a close fight, it's like Bob Arum threw him down by the wayside and let him fall through the cracks. He didn't really get many fights That's why he decided to leave Bob Arum, which was a smart choice, because if he would have stayed there, he would have still been dormant, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now, more than likely. But he did go with Al Heyman with the PBC, and he did go out because he believed that he could beat Anthony Joshua, but the thing is, he fought Anthony Joshua when Anthony Joshua conveniently made it convenient for him to come to America. He didn't have to go overseas. He didn't have to go to the UK or Wembley, or O2 Arena. He didn't have to do any of that. So everything he made it perfectly convenient for him. All he had to do was take a few hour plane ride, and boom, he's in New York City, right? Coming fresh off a fight. There he is, ding, ding. It's time to make history, right? Now, we know what's going on. The venue's been set. It wasn't desired from Ruiz's camp to go over there. Now, do you think it's some pressure or concern from Team Ruiz that they might get not a fair crack at the whip when it comes to decisions? Because it is in Saudi Arabia. Because remember, another concern was, who's going to sanction this? Will it be VADA? Who's going to take the drug test? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Right? There was a lot of concerns. Manny Robles, mentioned that in an interview, that he said, hey, we have a lot of concerns and we have some questions that we need answers for, and obviously those things have been answered, but then what lies? What does this mean? What does this mean mentally for Andy Ruiz? A lot of people talk about Anthony Joshua's mentality because he took his first loss. What about the loss and the reason that Andy Ruiz lost the first time? He was not in his element, okay? He wanted it in Mexico. It didn't happen in Mexico, So maybe this is a concern that people don't really think about is, like my prediction. I don't predict a knockout in the next fight. It would be fantastic if it would, because that would make it easier for everybody. Either way, Ruiz knocks him out or Joshua knocks him out. Then we'll know, okay, well, hey, it was a knockout. But what if it goes like I predicted, 12 rounds? What kind of fight will we have? What kind of scorecards will we have? Will Andy Ruiz, do they feel, his team, do they feel they will have that just decision, fair judges, right? Because once again, they find themselves in a situation where they don't have the home team advantage. It's not in Madison Square Garden. Sure, it's not in the UK, but it's a place where the A side, which is Team Joshua, selected. And they did it for money, but then did they only do it for money? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it something else in play? These are things to talk about. These are things, sure, it's a controversial thing, but it is things that could possibly happen if you are the guy that upset one of the highest paid boxers in the sport. These things, you can't overlook, people, especially when you're dealing with, the B side and, getting just dues. Because remember, this is boxing. This is prize fighting at the end of the day. Okay. I think that Ruiz will try to take it to Joshua because of that reason. I think they fear they won't get a just decision in Saudi Arabia. That's why he's dropping weight. That's the game plan. Okay? The game plan is to drop weight because we want to throw as many punches as possible. We want to put effective aggressiveness, ineffective aggressiveness, whatever. We want to be seen as the most busier fighter. Okay? And we want to take it to Joshua and repeat what we did before, so there isn't a shadow of the doubt that we are the losing side. Okay? But I do feel, and I do think there is concern with Andy Ruiz, and there's pressure over there. Make no mistake about it. A lot of people, yes, it's obvious pressure on Team Joshua. But then there also lies, I feel, a fear of the first loss that Andy Ruiz took, being away from home. Okay? So that's something a lot of people didn't mention. So I thought I wanted to share that with you guys and ask you guys, do you think there is that phobia of Ruiz not being in his element, not getting a just fight or a just decision if it goes 12 rounds. Let's look at it another way. What if the fight's a really competitive fight? Joshua makes the adjustments. He's able to stay back in spots. And then when he's able to stay back in spots, he's able to do what he plans to do in spots. And the other times, Ruiz does what he's supposed to do. That makes it a balanced fight, a 50-50 fight, right? And they fight 50-50. Question is, who do you think will get the nod? That's my question. Will it be favoritism in this fight? These type of things have to be answered. A lot of people don't bring it. A lot of people are looking at the style and him being short and Joshua being tall and this is how it's going to happen. And this, but we fail to realize that what if this is a competitive fight because both guys are focused on each other. Both guys know what they need to do. And they're both determined and driven to win. Okay. And it goes down to the wire and it goes 12 rounds. Who wins? That's my question for you guys. You guys, please tell me what you think in the comments below. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.